You've been taught that your potential is what makes you valuable. But what if it's actually a prison keeping you from really living? Every morning, you think about all the different people you could become while your real life slips away. What if always thinking about who you could be is actually killing who you already are? Picture this. You're lying in bed as morning light comes through your window. Your mind races with all the things you could do today. If only you had more time, more energy, more something. But deep down, you feel heavy. You've been here before, caught in the cycle of someday and what if. Always getting ready to live instead of actually living. What if this obsession with potential, this constant reaching for what could be, is actually choking your life? What if always looking to the future is like a poison, draining the color from your today? Look around you. How many projects have you started but not finished? How many tabs are open on your computer? How many ideas are saved for that perfect time when you'll finally have a chance? There's a quiet harm in potential. Each possibility you chase becomes like a ghost that follows you, whispering that right now isn't good enough. The more you think about who you could be, the less you like who you are now. Here's the hard truth. The more potential you see in yourself, the more stuck you become. The more choices you have, the less you can be here now. When was the last time you were fully here? Not planning, not fixing, just being. When did you last feel like you were enough without needing to become something more? Look at what always thinking about your potential has cost you. Friends drifted away because your mind was somewhere else. Simple joys rushed through because they weren't useful enough. Talks where your body was there, but your mind was gone. You weren't missing. You were just saving your best self for later. I see you looking at social media, comparing others' perfect posts to your messy life. Each post becomes another mirror showing all your dreams that haven't come true. It's so tiring, isn't it? Always becoming, never being, never having enough. You're caught in a math problem that can't be solved, always adding more while your hours stay the same. Stop. Take a breath. Feel how heavy it is to carry all these different people you're trying to become. The truth is, potential has become your prison. The more you focus on who you could be, the less you live as who you are. Your life has become a waiting room for a moment that never comes. Who pays the price? The partner who stopped telling you about their day. The kid who doesn't ask you to play anymore. The friend whose calls you ignore. Think about this. Who are people really getting when they're with you while you're busy trying to become your future self? Your loved ones don't want your potential. They want you to be here with them. The worst part? This problem looks like something good. Looks like drive, like growth. People praise your hustle and your work to improve yourself. Drop a fire emoji if you've been praised for the very thing that's burning your life down. You've gotten good at putting off life, saying, "I'll be here after I reach this one goal." But when you reach that goal, there's always another one ahead. Always putting off the life you say you're building. This fight between potential and presence isn't new. A wise man named Seneca warned us about this trap 2,000 years ago. He saw how people waste the thing they care about most: time. "We don't have a short time to live," he wrote, "but we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough if we use all of it well." But we don't use it well. We give up today for tomorrow. We trade joy now for success later. We trade the sure thing of now for the maybe of later. Think about the Japanese idea of ikigai. In the West, we've turned it into another way to optimize ourselves. But its real meaning was much simpler. For the old people in Okinawa, who often live past 100, ikigai isn't about finding the perfect job or doing more. It's about finding joy right now in the simple act of meeting each day with purpose, no matter how small. They don't live longer because they do more. They live longer because they're actually there for their lives. Think of the difference between a river and a dam. Today's world has taught us to be dams, to collect and store energy for later. We gather degrees, chances, and options. But water wants to flow. A river doesn't worry about reaching its potential. It simply moves through the land, making its path moment by moment, fully being what it is. The sad thing about potential is it turns the flowing river of your life into a still pond. Maybe big and impressive, but cut off from the movement that gives water its power. Brain studies show our brains work differently when we're fully in the moment versus when we're planning for the future. When we're thinking about the future, the worry part of our brain turns on. But when we're fully here, different brain parts light up, those linked to flow and being in our bodies. Your brain can't feel your potential. It can only feel this moment, right now. You're always choosing between the reality of now and the made-up story of what could be. Our problem with potential doesn't come from nowhere. It's fed by what I call the potential industrial complex. All the courses, content, and coaching promising to unlock your potential and help you do more. This is our villain, the optimizer. The voice always looking for ways you could do more, be more. It turns even your rest into another chance to improve, turning your sleep, your friends, even your spiritual life into things to be fixed. The optimizer doesn't want you to live. It just wants you to level up. The optimizer works through a basic lie, that your value as a person is based on the gap between who you are and who you could be. The bigger this gap, the worse you feel. The more potential you see in yourself, the less good your current self seems. You don't need to explain why you are exactly where you are. You don't need to explain why you choose being here over chasing potential. But just seeing the optimizer isn't enough. We need to understand how this villain took over what we think makes a good life. Take another breath. Feel the weight lift just for a moment. There is no scorecard for your life except the one in your head. The cult of potential gained power in the 1900s, when unusual growth made it seem like never-ending expansion of wealth, of options, of self was not just possible, but needed. Our grandparents lived in a world where each generation really could expect to have more than the last. But we now live in a different world, one where the promise of unlimited growth hits the limits of our planet, our attention, and what humans can handle. The myth of potential hasn't caught up. It still demands more output, more achievement, while the things that made such growth possible are falling apart. We're living with old hopes in a changed world. Think about how this plays out in your day. You wake up to lots of notifications, each one a different possible talk, connection, or chance. Your to-do list is huge. Your to-read and to-watch lists keep growing. All these possible things overwhelm your ability to really feel any of them deeply. This is what experts call the paradox of choice, the finding that more options often lead to less happiness and more being stuck. But it goes deeper than just having too many choices. It's about having too many possible selves, too many different paths, too many unrealized versions of your life, always haunting your today. you're not bad at choosing. You're drowning in possibility. Brain expert Sam Harris says, "The quality of your life depends on the quality of your mind. And the quality of your mind depends on how you use your attention. When your attention is always split across possible futures, the quality of your mind, and so your life, gets worse." But there's a deeper pattern in our addiction to potential, one that touches our basic fear of death and limits. Each choice you make means the death of all other options. To fully take one path means letting countless others die. To be fully with one person means being away from everyone else. To master one skill means leaving others undeveloped. This is the big truth we're running from when we try to keep all doors open. That we cannot be everything, go everywhere, feel it all. We get one life with limited time. The helpful insight hidden in this limit is that being present, giving your full attention to what's actually here, is the only real cure for our fear of missing out. The only way to beat the worry of unlived potential is to fully live the life you actually have, moment by moment. When you're fully present, something amazing happens. The gap between who you are and who you could be, that gap that makes you feel not good enough, begins to close. Not because you've achieved all your potential, but because you've stopped measuring your worth by that impossible standard. It's time to strip away the identity you've built around potential. The identity that lets you feel good about yourself, not because of what you are, but because of what you might become. You're not a project to fix. You're a life to be lived. Who would you be without your potential? Without the comfort that your real life is still ahead? Without the story that your current limits are just for now? This is the hard talk most of us avoid. Because facing it means accepting you might never write that book, start that business, have that perfect relationship. Some potentials will stay forever unrealized. Think about this. What parts of yourself have you put on hold until you become your potential self? The painful truth. Your potential has become a fancy way to reject yourself, saying, "I'll love myself when," rather than "I love myself as." It's a deal with strings attached. You didn't fail to reach your potential. Your potential failed to make you happy. We've been taught potential is our most valuable thing, what makes us worthy of love. But what if it's really the heaviest load? What if it's stopping you from feeling the relief of being exactly who you are? Feel how you resist this idea. Notice how tightly you hold on to the promise of potential. That resistance is your programming fighting to stay alive. What if the you that exists right now, not the future you, but the real, breathing, flawed human reading these words, is already enough? This isn't about giving up on growth. It's about changing your relationship with becoming, growing from acceptance rather than rejection, from wholeness rather than lack. The hard truth: your obsession with potential isn't a path to your best life. It's a fancy way to avoid the life you actually have. And that avoidance is the real waste of your precious time. You can't become present in the future. You can only be present now. How do we return from the mirage of potential to the solid ground of presence? How do we heal the split attention that leaves us always reaching, never arriving? It starts with a big shift. What if life's purpose isn't maximizing potential, but fully feeling reality? What if success isn't measured by how much you've done, but by how deeply you've lived each moment? Potential asks, what could be? Presence asks, what is? Old wisdom traditions all point to the same truth. The present moment isn't a step to some future goal. It is the goal itself, where life actually happens. This doesn't mean giving up on dreams. It means holding them differently, not as things that define your worth, but as directions that add flavor to your journey, moving from fullness rather than emptiness. Think how this shift might change your daily life. Instead of rushing through meals while scrolling, splitting your attention, you might actually taste your food. Instead of half listening while planning tomorrow's work, you might fully hear and see others. Instead of asking if each moment is worth your time based on future payoff, you might ask, am I fully here for this? Your attention isn't just what you focus on. It's how you feel being alive. The twist: when you stop obsessing about potential and start living in presence, you often do more than through forced optimization. Flow states come from being fully in it, not from being split. More importantly, you take back what potential can never give: your actual life, happening now. This is our basic choice. Live the one life we have, or always wait for the lives we could have. Feel what is, or chase what could be. Take a breath. Feel the weight you've been carrying, all those unused chances. For this moment, put it down. Feel how much lighter you become. The path of presence takes effort in a world made to split your attention. It means often asking, where is my attention right now? Am I fully here? I invite you to say in the comments what you're taking back. Finish this sentence. I release the need to blank. Whatever potential has been haunting you, name it. Let it go. Watch how that creates space for something more real. Your actual lived life. If this talk stirred something in you, if you feel both pain and hope, our journey is just starting. Your attention has been split for so long, you've forgotten what being whole feels like. The death of potential isn't a one-time event, but a daily practice of choosing presence over possibility. In a world made to exploit fear of missing out, this practice needs wisdom and community. That's why I'm making a series about taking back our attention. We'll look at how split attention hurts your brain and how to heal. Who makes money from your feeling of not being enough? Old wisdom practices for building presence. Setting limits with the optimizer. How being present helps you connect with others. This isn't just stuff to watch. It's a way back to your own life. A journey from endless becoming to rich being. Subscribe now so you don't miss any part. Unlike most subscriptions that make you fear missing out, this one is made to reduce that fear, helping you figure out what truly deserves your attention. You don't need more info. You need deeper presence. This change isn't adding more to your life, but removing blocks to feeling the life you have. It's coming home to yourself whenever potential tries to lure you away. In the end, potential is just a story. Beautiful, tempting, but hollow. But your life, your moment-by-moment experience, is not a story. It's the raw reality that stories can only point to. You don't need to become more. You need to be here more. An old saying goes, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The tasks don't change, but our relationship to them does. The presence or absence we bring decides whether life feels like a burden or a gift. When dying, as we all are, moment by moment, you won't measure life by potential reached. You'll measure by how fully you showed up for the life you had, by attention quality, by how deeply you were present with the people and moments that mattered. Maybe the most radical act in a world obsessed with potential is this: being exactly where you are, without apology. Letting go of the ghosts of what you could become to meet yourself as you are. Stopping preparation to simply live. Because in the space between who you are and who you could be lies the present moment, the only one you'll ever have, slipping through your fingers while you're busy becoming someone else. Your potential was never the point. Your presence was always the gift.